Loud sounds good. Okay. So it's now 7:02, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Um, Everyone should have access to the agenda. It was emailed out from the calendar, and if you don't have that, you can just go directly to the calendar. So the first thing is the acceptance of the 4 May minutes, and I don't know if everyone has had a chance to look at those. I apologize. I did not have an opportunity to get the link in there ahead of time. So I don't know if it makes sense. Maria, I'm thinking maybe we just make this old business and do it. I mean, defer it to next month and do both sets of minutes, this one and the May minutes at the same time,
Yeah, we can do
since no
that.
one will have had a chance to review those at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on to the chair report. First of all is the LPNC convention report. The LPNC convention came off. It was extremely smoothly run. We were done by, I think it was 2:38 p.m. on Saturday with all of our business, including getting through the entire bylaws committee report, which is not something that always happens. So that was cool. And the I think there were a total or a maximum of Rob Yates is joining us. He's a guest tonight because he has a proposal for us. Um, I think the max of attendance was about 48 or 49 delegates. So they actually had only about 25% more delegates than Wake LP had for our meeting. In fact, they had fewer delegates than we had last year. But it was a very coherent and uh, well-oiled group. I will mention that the last item on the bylaws committee report was a rogue proposal which did not go through the committee by yours truly to change the non-initiation of force pledge to include the word economic in the list of violent varieties of violence that we disapprove of initiating. So it already said social and political, and I wanted to add economic because I thought we were giving the Marxists a free pass by leaving economic out, and in fact, implicitly endorsing economic violence in pursuit of, taking over the means of production or whatever else they want to do. So that passed ultimately after some discussion. That passed unanimously, which was cool. Um, okay, so that was any questions about the convention? Right. Ryan Brown was reelected as chair. Bob Drock was elected as vice chair. And I think the lineup of at-large people. Oh, and as a secretary, we have a new secretary, Kate Shawn, who I had not met before the convention. So that was kind of cool. And then the lineup of the at-large is pretty much the same. Mac Browder and Angela Humphreys and Nick Taylor were all reelected, and then there was one newcomer, Bryce Ocker, was elected to make up their EC. So on to the onboarding status. I don't know for sure if everyone has their email working. I would request that if you do, please email the either me directly or you can email help desk just to let us know that that connection's been made. And if anyone has any, I think everyone's on Mattermost, so that's cool. Those are the two most important things. If there's any other, issues or questions, you can try me first, and if that doesn't work, send a complaint in, or not a complaint, but a request for help to the help desk folks, which I'm one for the LPNC, and we'll help you out. Um, with respect to priorities, we haven't really made a lot of progress. This was a tough month for me. In addition to the convention, which I had ended up getting roped into doing some work for, I had my 50th college reunion last weekend. So I was in Providence for 4 days. And as you can imagine, there's lots of things that are that kind of piled up since I was ignoring everything else for like 2 weeks. Among them is making some progress on priorities. We have made some progress with respect to David Blackwelder and I. There's almost a complete list of prospects to call for fundraising purposes. I still have a couple of categories of people to, I'm vetting that list as I go through, making sure those people are still alive. So I don't want to waste David's time or my time, calling dead people. And for the most part are still in Wake County. There's some people we might call that are out of Wake County, but for the most part, we want them to be here in Wake County. So we have made some progress on that particular priority, which is an important one. Okay, moving on. Unless there's any questions, hearing none. To the treasurer's report. Sean is attending a memorial. He would not expected to have to do that. He posted in Mattermost a report. We have about $3,100 in the bank at the moment. And he also mentioned that on Tuesday of this week, we're planning to meet at the Truist Home Bank, which is in Cary, the home branch rather in Cary, in order to shuffle the signatory uh, lineup, which currently is just our former vice chair, Patrick Bowersox, and our former treasurer, like two treasurers back, or three treasurers back now, actually, uh, Steve Prinz, who still in the midst of recovering from his stroke. He's at the point where he can drive now, and he's very generously volunteered after I asked him to come to this meeting on Tuesday, so that we need to have one of those two guys there to be able to make changes to the signatory cards. And Patrick is working on an all year-round school, so he doesn't get days off. The only day off he has in June is the 19th of June, which happens to be probably doesn't happen to me. It's probably not a coincidence. That's Juneteenth, which means banks are closed, so useless to us. Events. So we do have a Triangle Libertarian brunch scheduled for Sunday, the 22nd of June. If you like Indian food, you should definitely make it a point to come to Naga's on June that afternoon, or actually morning afternoon. And it's probably the best Indian smorgasbord in the Triangle. I've been to several, and it's certainly the best of any that I've been to. I can't say I've been to them all, so I can't absolutely say it's the best, but it's really like there's literally dozens and dozens of choices. So even if you don't like Indian food, generally there's probably something you'll like there.
I'm sorry,
Um,
Brad, where is that located?
it's in Morrisville, or actually, it's technically in a neighboring community to Morrisville, but basically it's in Morrisville. There's information about it on both Meetup and on the LPNC webpage under their events thing, and also on Wake LP's Facebook page. So just go to any one of those three places and get all the details. Um, and uh, we are looking at the possibility of doing is this the right agenda? I think I'm looking at the wrong agenda here. Um, we do have some other items that are coming up there tomorrow in Person County. There's an event that I'm going to let Rob tell us about. Rob, take a minute or two to talk about what's happening in Person County tomorrow in Roxborough.
I don't know if anyone saw the news report, but Brianna Morgan, 4 days, so a year ago, her children were taken by CPS and put with a foster family. The circumstances as to why are a little up in dispute, but no one ever alleged that she was harming or potentially harming the children. Nevertheless, the children were put in foster care. 4 days ago, she talked to the foster mom, who said her son was fine, her 1-year-old son, and then got a call from a cop an hour later who said her son was dead. She's been told that it could take a year or longer before she'll get an autopsy or any understanding why. She's being stonewalled, given a bunch of different stories as it goes. And her daughter is still being held by the same foster family where her son died. Meanwhile, her grandmother has passed the North Carolina foster care certification class and could just take the kids, but the county commissioners are refusing to move forward on it. And so we are going to the commissioners meeting at 6 o'clock tomorrow to voice our support of remanding the children to the grandmother to start, and then recouping and working with some other groups to see what we're going to do after that.
So for those of you who are a little vague on North Carolina geography, Person County is actually not that far away. It is north, the county directly north of Orange and Durham. So it's a lot longer drive for Rob than it would be for any of us. I'm not going to be able to be there. I've got a conflicting event, but if anybody is, interested, we're trying to get as many folks to that meeting as possible to show support. Then on the 14th, there's an event being sponsored by the Democratic Party, and I believe this is probably in multiple cities across North Carolina, as in fact the country, but in particular, there's one in Raleigh, and the Better Ballot North Carolina folks are leveraging that event to take the opportunity to buttonhole attendees to this event and get them to sign up to support ranked choice voting. And I am tentatively planning to do that myself. Travis told me I could only talk for a minute to anybody that I meet. It's hard for me to only talk for a minute about anything, in particular ranked choice voting, but I'm going to try my best. So if anyone's interested in that, there'll be a link to that event, which is on the Better Ballot NC website, to information about it and sign up and so on and so forth. They'll be issuing instructions if you're interested in doing it. So you want to sign up. There'll be a link to that sign up page in our forthcoming Wake Up Liberty newsletter, which is hopefully coming out later tonight or tomorrow at the latest. So that is all that I have to say about events. Now we're on to new business. And
Is the
So-
event, is the new business the event that is the con?
Yeah.
yes, that's the second
Okay.
item. But the first item in new business is the LPNC co-op ad buy proposal, which Rob is going to also talk to.
So thank you for having me on. This is the original reason I was scheduled. The CPS commissioner's protest thing popped up yesterday. So I have put a proposal in front of the LPNC asking for $12,500 to be split with at least 5,000, though I would take more, for a radio and streaming iHeartRadio ad buy. It would be very similar to the one we did for Mike Ross and Bob Drock during the elections. It would be spread out over 2 months. They're running a sale for $8 for an impression, so we would get something like 640,000 impressions over those 2 months. We can target by county. We can target almost down to the voter level if we want. It gets a little trickier, but my plan is to put together a similar script and record. I would probably using their voice actors, just stuff talking about the party, the current political turmoil, and driving people in specific counties either to the LPNC website or back to the county website. We're actually also working on a Spanish language one. But I am asking, well, so that's the first part. And it would be particularly Wake, Guilford, Meck, and Cape Fear would be areas where we really focused on getting people to pay attention and sort of dial back in and check on the website. We did notice with Bob and Mike that in the areas where we ran the most ads, there was a 2 to 3 percentage point increase over what we had expected to get in those areas. And some of them, more remote, it's not a huge number of voters, but it doesn't take a huge number of voters to start swinging things. And then the other thing that I'm trying to do is hire a marketing PR consultant for a year. So that'd be the other portion of the money, to just come in, do an outside perspective, a SWOT analysis, set up a bunch of targets for newsletter growth, journalist list growth, social media strategy, a coordinated strategy across the board, affiliate growth. There's a whole bunch of things. I would work with this person on metrics. So I am asking to try and defray the cost. Wake, Meck, and Cape Fear to each contribute $1,000 towards these initiatives. Meck approved it officially yesterday, and Cape Fear, I think, talks about it on Tuesday. And so that is why I'm here in front of y'all.
So you're asking us for $1,000, and that would be allocated, if I understand correctly, to the first of those two initiatives that you talked about, namely the radio ads. So 625,000, $5,000. So divide that by 20% of that would be 125,000 impressions for Wake County. Is that basically the
You'd
deal?
probably get more. We'd divide it by population, not by spend. So it'd be proportional, like the number of impressions that we have relative to the population for everywhere we're targeting.
And so what we get basically are a bunch of spots that would be targeted to folks in Wake County. And what level of control would we have over A, the targeting, and B, the message?
How much do you want?
Well, complete.
I
Well,
was
of course.
assuming I'd be doing all of it. I would love to have help. Um, the targeting, you can get pretty detailed with it, but you're limited by, so they have a very good profile of every one of their subscribers. You're limited by who their subscribers are, and then the radio ones are a little bit more general, as opposed to the streaming ones, which is where we saw more of the return. In terms of messaging, I was going to put together a like somewhat cohesive message across the board and then tweak for each county and drive back to specific websites. But I'm not, I mean, it's me. Like, I don't, if you send me something totally different, I'd go with it.
Well, no, I mean, obviously we'd want to create a landing page that's unique so we can track and see how well we do for our $1,000 if we decide to do this. So that makes sense, perfect sense. We can, we can discuss how to do that internally. I imagine we could just do a clone of our existing donation page, but have it be a different URL and a unique QR code associated with that. It's a radio ad, so how do you? I mean, there's no QR code. You can't do a QR code over radio, I guess. So how do they? You have to spell out the website basically.
You say it 3 times. Like in Mike's, if you listen to Mike's ads, firetheuniparty.com, check out firetheuniparty.com. And at the end, remember, go to firetheuniparty.com.
Got it. Okay.
I have a question.
Go.
Why not, instead of the radio, just because if it's gonna be several $1,000s, if you did that just on like even Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, I think you'd get a lot more views and hits than you would the radio. Just my perspective of doing this for a while.
So we've done promotions on Facebook and Twitter before, and in terms of contacts, so defining a contact as a view, a like, whatever it may be, the returns have been very successful, but it's been very hard to measure and very hard to observe anecdotally anything that came from that. It's a lot more broad. It's really hard to target. They promote, generally. Whereas with this, we can really see how well it's doing. We can change. It's over 2 months. If some things are working and some aren't, we can change messaging by the day. iHeartRadio, the people we work with, like, this is what they do, and they're in sales, so of course they're trying to push it, but their incentive is to make it work for us. And they helped with Mike and Bob to make tweaks and change the user profiles as they were starting to see more returns, as we were seeing website growth. And so we have a lot of control day in and day out. I also do have a separate LPNC social strategy that I want to implement. Like, I have a pretty broad comms plan that I'm starting to put into place. I have like 6 big goals and a bunch of sub goals. I want to start creating metrics, which I'd work with the marketing person. And this is one big facet of it. The unfortunate reality is that this stuff costs money. And we have so much less than the machine we're up against.
Are you paying a company to do this, or is this something, because
iHeartRadio.
do I now?
iHeartRadio.
Okay, yeah, because we could. I mean, that's a great. I mean, that's a good thing. I they're not terrible. I just, you could set up the targeting and all that yourself on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. And I just feel like, the spend, if you're spending several $1,000s, you could reach hundreds of thousands of people. or if not, if you're just doing North Carolina, I mean, you could still reach a lot of people and maybe even over and over again. But if you just set up the metrics yourself, as opposed to, um, paying them to set it up and do it, I just think that you'd be able to spend more and have more of an impact than always paying an advertiser to do it. That's just what I've seen. And two, you have to pay them a fee.
Yeah, I mean, even working with them, with Mike and Bob, and adjusting the metrics in real time was a pretty significant like drain on my time. If y'all want to pay me to be an actual PR consultant and I can quit my job and come do this full time, then yes, I can track all the metrics in real time. But it's just, we have a relationship with them. They're professionals who do this. And again, their incentive is for us to succeed. And it frees me up to do some other stuff. I'm pretty like tapped out, like on top of the 20 stupid political things that I keep saying yes to and having a job. My daughter's having hip surgery in 2 weeks, which is lots of fun. 16 years old, and her summer is going to be on crutches, which is a little funny to be fair, but I don't have time to design the metrics, track the metrics, change the metrics. They work with all of the tracking.
Well, the metrics when you advertise on Facebook and Twitter, I mean, it just shows up how many hits you've had or how many link clicks. And I mean, what metrics are you talking about?
So with iHeartRadio, we're going to go in and we're going to say, here's user profiles that have been more likely to follow up on political stuff in the past. Here's user profiles that find certain issues to be important that might align with where we believe these are the podcasts that they listen to. These are the streaming stations they listen to. These are the radio stations they're more likely to be on. And we're going to go heavy at the times when they're more likely to be listening intently based on this, like the granularity of the information they have and the fact that they're dedicated to it makes fine tuning very efficient.
I would comment that we have very extensively used Facebook. I mean, considering how much money we have and how much money we've spent, we've probably averaged about $400 or $500 a year on Facebook advertising, and we haven't probably could do more analysis of what we've gotten back from it. But my intuitive sense, just in terms of anecdotally, how many people have told us that they came to an event because of our Facebook ad, or a new person that came in because of a Facebook ad. I don't have the sense that we've gotten a lot of that. I still think it's worth doing, just in terms of exposing folks to the fact that we have events happening. But I don't think, spending some money on another medium just to get a sense of comparatively how well it does is a bad idea. In fact, I would be, interested enough, curious enough to do it, that I would be willing to pledge, $250 towards this $1,000 if, everybody else is comfortable with having the party pay for this other $750, because I'd like to see how it does.
Is it so? You said that it's going to be, and I'm assuming so. Basically, like if somebody's listening to a podcast that's through iHeartRadio, the ad will come up during the podcast.
Yep.
And they will hear it. So it'll go through different. It's not just like it's going to be over the radio. It's going to be over these little individual entities, right?
Yeah, so even when I say radio, it's streaming radio. So it's like if somebody's listening to, say, the punk rock station on iHeartRadio, and that turns out that they're more likely to align with libertarian values, then we can put it on theirs.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought you were talking about like just the regular radio.
No, that is another option, which if we had the money, I'd love to do, but I don't think it's worth nickeling and diming on that one. That's now you're starting to get into the high 5 and 6 figures to make it worth it.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, that makes sense. And what about YouTube? Do they do it over YouTube as well, or is it just through iHeartRadio?
So we can. That's a separate thing. I'm toying with that idea and how to bring that into like some of the internet stuff organically that we can do. Creating the spots, adding them to websites. You need tracking cookies. It gets complicated and it gets expensive. And we can do it. I don't know. It is not on the table right now, but I'm glad you mentioned it because I am trying to work on something for that.
Let me ask if Courtney or Maria or David, you have anything to say, any comments on this idea?
I'm curious. I mean, I've never encountered anything like this or delved into anything like this, so I don't know. But I am kind of curious to see what the metrics and the data say. I don't know what data we have now, but for somebody like me who doesn't, who totally like spurns any social media, but loves a good podcast. I learn about a lot of things from ads on podcasts, and I am kind of curious about that. I also real quickly wanted to address the issue that was brought up for a marketing consultant. I don't know how much that costs. I do know, just from having my own business, that at NC State in their marketing program, all of their graduates for their last final project, it's a semester long project, they actually have to work with a business or a nonprofit. I don't know, Rob, if you're familiar with that. And they're supposed to be non-paid. Now, I've used them before and I've always paid them, but
They're cheap.
they're incredibly cheap. They're young. They have great ideas. They know social media. Like when I owned my boutique, I had this girl, she was popping up stuff all over the place that I had never even heard of before. And it was amazing how many people came in because she just knew what to do. So it's just kind of an idea I just want to throw it out there.
So I did that last in the fall, and the benefits and downsides sort of balance each other out because I had to teach that person so much too.
Okay.
And a lot of this is about saving me time. Like I'm spread pretty thin, and there's just such a chance to strike while the iron's hot. This is the right year. So, but it's funny.
Not an election year.
For the marketing consultant, it's $7,500 over a year, and she'll put in 10 hours a week, and she's the person I'm targeting is 26. She has all the education, but she has a good degree of real experience, some completed projects that I took a look at, and she's like gung-ho to get this one done so she can put it in her portfolio because she's working for a company now but wants to go independent.
That's actually not bad for 175. That's
Yeah,
not bad at all.
I would charge for a year, I'd charge 10 times that. So
Oh yeah.
So Courtney or David, any comments?
Look, I mean, to your point, we've done Facebook before, right? X is absolute garbage these days. I mean, you have to try new things, right? Like, I mean, you can't, if you went into every project with absolute certainty, then it really, there wouldn't be a challenge to any of this, and we'd all be making tons of money because we would be able to bet every parlay each weekend correctly. So I think this makes sense as far as attempting something new. If we've had some success with it before, used them before, it makes sense. It's a little disappointing because I don't think we're going to have anybody in Wake running for a local office, but maybe in some ways, especially with Raleigh not having anybody up for election, maybe it's an easier time to get a message out to a new audience, just so people are familiar with you and are reminded you're alive and doing stuff.
So, David, you actually brought up two good points in terms of how I'm thinking about this strategically. So the first one is, try new stuff and see what happens. I forget exactly how it breaks down, but it's $8 an impression, which comes out to whatever 100 streams, and that's how you get to the 600,000 number. If we take advantage of the sale in June or July, then we have the opportunity to stay at that price the rest of the year if we want to do it again. So if returns are really good, there's opportunity to keep going with it. The other thing I was thinking is targeting this more for messaging, membership, maybe volunteering and fundraising. But what that does is free up, at least in MEC, we've made some very targeted attempts to get people locally to run, and it's already paid dividends. We have someone who's going to run against the city council member who's under federal indictment. And he's like, this is a good candidate, registered Republican who's sick of them, has a real background in finance and risk for 20 years. Like, so
No, I agree. I hear you. I mean, it makes more sense in my mind. In some ways, it makes more sense to do it now. Because when
yeah,
you're trying to get people's attention in an even election year in October, November, it's hopeless, especially when you're working with the sums of money we are. So now when people aren't listening and consciously tuning out political ads, makes it almost counterintuitive that now would be the time to run a political ad when they're not
exactly.
necessarily listening for one. So I'm fine with it conceptually. It's something new to try. If we had a crystal ball, we wouldn't be here.
Courtney? Courtney, you're muted.
Oh no. She's still muted.
Courtney, you're muted. I don't think we can hear anything.
We see lips moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually not muted according to the list of participants. All right, who can lip read? It must be an input issue, Courtney,
She's
because
got two. There's two Courtneys. Do we have the right one unmuted?
oh, that's a good question.
Unmute. Well, maybe she's talking to the Otter AI one. Now she's muted for sure.
Yeah, now you're muted for sure.
Or we can type in chat. We're gonna need some feedback mechanism if you vote on this, Brad.
Yeah.
Unmute all of the Courtneys. You should be able to do that as the admin. Yes.
You can only ask them to unmute. Courtney has unmuted herself. The note taker is an Otter thing, so that's not something that's going to speak. All right. Well, Courtney, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. All right, cool. So I would entertain a motion to spend $1,000, 250 of which I would defray myself on Rob's project. Anybody want to make such a motion?
I will.
I move yeah, okay, go ahead, Maria, please. Sorry.
No, I support the motion. Yeah, I think we should move forward.
Okay, I'll take that as a motion. Anybody want to second it?
Second, Ulmer.
Okay, all in favor, say thumbs up. David, you're going to have to tell us whether your thumb is up or not. Actually, both Davids, because we don't have video for either one of you guys.
Yes, for
David
Ulmer.
B.
Yes, I'm good with it.
Great. All right. Super. All right, Rob. Thank you very much. Now your time is limited, so please go out and prosper, whatever you do.
Thank you all very much. I can't promise you results, but I can promise you that I will put everything I have into doing the best I can with it.
You're not running away quite yet. So quick on your LPNZ feedback thing that you provided was on a typing room for me.
I was just looking at that.
The two comments is the Saturday evening event was probably one of the better ones we've had in a very long time as far as keeping people engaged and stopping them from wandering off. I will say, although Brad was very excited that everything wrapped up quickly and efficiently, you ended up with a couple hours here and there where a lot of other things could have been discussed. Like if somebody, maybe in future years has a back burner, like, hey, if we run into an hour of free time, we will have so-and-so ready to go or so-and-so ready to go to talk about things of interest. Because my perspective, you hate to travel halfway across the state, pay money to be in a hotel room, ready to discuss libertarian things. And although quitting at 2:30 sounds exciting, it's actually not, because I've taken time out of my weekend to dedicate it solely to LPNC. So I would rather maximize that time than celebrate the fact that I have 2 hours to go back to my hotel room and watch SportsCenter.
So I love it. Good feedback. And we are already starting for 2026. It's our 50th anniversary. I think Kim is going to chair. I'm working with her, and she's already mentioned what you just said, like basically every single hour defined with either business or opportunity to do something. So people will be able to go watch SportsCenter if they want, but there will be something Liberty related that they can go and spend time doing.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I thank you all. I appreciate it for real.
Keep them flying. All right, moving on. The next
Bye.
item for new business is a certificate of need bill related event. And the ball is in my court on that. The thinking, David Ulmer and I have consulted on this, and what we think would be best would be to headline with someone from John Locke who have good incentive to provide a speaker for, if we can get 30 people or more together, and have done so in the past on various topics for us. And I've just been playing phone tag with those folks to try to nail somebody down and come up with a date that would work. It has to be far enough in the future so we can promote it, and not it has to be before the actual session so that we can utilize it to promote our support of S370. For those of you, if there's anybody that doesn't know this, would essentially rescind the act that created the certificate of need. So there would be, if it were to be enacted and either signed or not, or vetoed and overridden by the governor, it would eliminate certificate of need in North Carolina. That's already happened in 15 other states, and the reviews are pretty positive from what I've read. Courtney's other half, I won't say better half, Matthew Lazex, has done a lot of research on this, and there's a video I basically interviewed him for the Wake Up Liberty newsletter that's going out in the next 24 hours. It's up there on our YouTube channel now. If anyone is interested, you can check it out. But in any event, this is potentially low-hanging fruit because this bill has already passed the Senate, and if we can get it through the House, it will make a significant difference in terms of getting impediments out of the way of competition and innovative healthcare services that are currently being blocked because of the certificate of need requirements. So it's a good thing, and we want to try to take advantage to do the best we can with it. So anyway, David, have I missed anything in talking about the parameters of an event?
No, other than I think we can't delay any longer. You need to just put some ideas and times to date. And if you can't get John Locke, I started watching the first half of Matthew's interview before family dinner got in the way, but he would be a fine, look at a calendar, pick a date. So
Yeah.
9 July is a little tricky because some people will go, I think 4 July is a Friday or something. So you will have some people out that week, probably a little short now. So you would either have to, by Wednesday, say it will be 24 June, or defer to 9
Until after
July,
the
and
deploy.
certainly no
Yeah.
later than 16 July. But I think you need to kind of at this point now stop talking about, theoretical calendars and just say these are the 3 dates: 24 June, 9 July, 16 July. And if we don't have anything nailed down by this Wednesday, then we're going to go with 9 July, assuming Matthew could do that presentation that day. And then we'll see if we can't get another person to kind of not co-host, co-present, co-discuss, whatever you want to call it. But I think you need to kind of just start putting rounds downrange, so to speak, and stop talking about it.
Right. Sounds good. Any questions about that? Then the last new business item is the Cary Environmental Symposium. This is a event I think it's going to be the 4th time that they have done it. It says Cary, but they really have a lineup of speakers that both Brian K. Lewis and Guy Milior, who are into environmental stuff, think are pretty good. They looked at the programs that they've done in the past as well as what they're projecting to do for 2025. So I was hoping that we could actually get somebody on a panel discussion, but it looks like that panel discussion that they were tentatively planning to do isn't going to happen. So that's not going to work for this year. But my thought is that if we oh, well, I should mention the history on this. I didn't know this, but Wake LP actually has sponsored this event, which isn't to say we spent any money on it, but we officially were a sponsor and appear on their website. Our logo appears on their website for the last two times they've done it. So Travis had a relationship with the guy that started this up. That's how that happened. So I think that it makes sense to continue that relationship on that very low level. And possibly what we would do is to promote it and try to get a block of people to attend one or more of the events. I think that if I remember correctly, there's like 3 or 4 events on Friday nights in August, September timeframe, or maybe September, October timeframe. So that's basically what that's all about. And if you're interested in more information, hit me up after the meeting, or not probably tonight, but in the next day or so. Any questions about any of that stuff? Okay, on to old business. The first item is the approval of the convention minutes, which I think everyone has had an opportunity to review. The link was posted on Mattermost maybe 5 or 6 weeks back. Maria, you want to take over for this?
Yeah, so I've never done this before, so what am I supposed to do other than the fact that just like, do you
Ask
want
if
me to talk?
anyone has any objections to the minutes, or
Oh,
if
okay.
anyone
David, do you have any objections to the minutes?
or needs more time to
Or
review them.
needs more time to review them?
No, as I recall, we didn't have a contentious number of elections, and I don't think we changed any bylaws or platforms. Is my memory correct?
Your memory is
Remember,
correct.
would be correct.
Okay. Well, having not broken anything, I approve the minutes.
All right. So then, Maria, you want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes?
David is going to second it.
Second,
All in favor? I'm in favor.
I'm in favor. I don't know if you can hear me now. But
Yes, we can hear you.
fixed it.
Any opposed? Done. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Welcome letters to defrock party registrants is one of those things on my to-do list. That is shortening the draft letter down to get to one page. That was to, I think it was the Constitution Party. I don't remember which party it was now. And creating similar letters for the other parties. The Board of Elections seems to be dragging its feet. None of the people have been defrocked. I'm presuming that they have to do that before elections filings start. Otherwise, they're going to end up with candidates for parties that aren't on the ballot. So that's pretty soon, right? I think that the filing for some of the municipals, since we don't have them in Raleigh, I haven't paid close attention, but I think it's either this month or next month that the filings happen. So we need to get our act together on that. I don't know, David B., do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I think it's a good idea for us to do that, or at least try to reach out to these people, and we can kind of make it as affordable as possible to.
Yeah, I think we decided to go ahead. The only question is when, and the when has to be after they've actually been thrown off the ballot. It doesn't make sense to write them before then. So, okay, business meeting recordings. We're gonna punt on this one because I talked with Maria beforehand, and she has not been able to get access to last month's recording. The plan basically is with respect to that particular recording, and Maria, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong here, but is to excise the portion where we discussed the sexual harassment policy, and then so it's a clean, nothing sensitive recording before we publish it. Is that correct, Maria?
That is correct. It has been trimmed. I just need to get into YouTube to post it.
Okay, fine, and I will help you with that. Then sexual harassment policy, another thing that I punted on, so that's going to have to be deferred until next month. Does anyone have anything else that they wish to bring up?
no, other than just it would be nice on our EC channel on Mattermost in a day or two here when you're comfortable with the timeline for the con stuff. We should probably just start to set some deadlines for ourselves. Like if we can't get John Locke to commit to something by Wednesday, we will see if Matthew is available. If Matthew is not available, we will go to option C. And if that doesn't work, then we're just not in business, so to speak. But I just think we should set some timelines. Otherwise, we drag things out and then we just don't have enough time at the last minute to advertise it.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah. I can say that Matthew is ready to kind of jump on this. So, one of the two dates that you had mentioned, I think you said either the 24th of June or was it the 9th of July? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, we're looking at Wednesdays,
Okay.
obviously, and skipping the 4th of July weekend.
Okay. Yeah. I think he's choosing between one of those weeks and not, yeah. So not the one in between the 4th of July weekend, but one of those weeks to go out of town. So if one of those,
I had the impression from him that he was going to be gone on the 24th, but maybe he's
that's what, as long as it works out for that job site, he's basically waiting to see. So I think he's trying to get out of town on the 24th, and if not later. So it might be safer to try and just lock down the later date.
the
But
16th.
but I can circle back on that and or no, the 9th.
Oh,
But
okay.
I can clarify that with him though.
Yeah.
I know one of those will work though.
Oh, great. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will provide an entertaining motion to adjourn.
Second, anybody?
Fucking that.
All right. All in
I'll second.
favor?
In favor.
Yay, on time and
Yay.
everything.
All right.
Fantastic.
1949, and only 49 minutes. Not too bad. We started 2 minutes late, so only 47 minutes. Good stuff. All right. Thanks,
Thank
Scott.
you all.
Be in touch
Bye.
soon. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. Do you have time to do this evening?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I have 11 minutes.
All right. Beautiful. So, all right. So I'm at YouTube.
Okay, so let me
Let me log
see.
myself
Let me
out.
access my
I know.
code here. This is YouTube, right? Yeah. So basically what you want to do is I think we talked about this. There's a ID, which is theoretically the Wake LP ID. In practice, and technically it's Ken Binkowski's ID. One of his Google ideas.
So real quickly, so I have so to sign in, I'm sorry, I'm looking at your note for YouTube. It just says Wake Up Liberty.
Oh
So-
yeah, that's it.
Okay. So it's asking for a Gmail.
Yeah, right. It's probably going to send a note. Truist, PayPal, GoDaddy. I'm not seeing. Maybe it's under Google. I'm not seeing where I have this, so just bear with me a second.
Okay.
It's not under YouTube and it's not under Wake LP. I have this list alphabetically. And it's a very long list. So scrolling back to the G's takes a little time. Okay, here we go. Google. This looks promising. Info mail. Wake LP. Yeah, Wake Up Liberty is the Gmail address, right? So it's wakeupliberty@gmail.com. But you probably don't need that part. You just need the Wake Up Liberty part, right? To
Actually,
sign in. You want to sign out as you and sign in as Wake Up Liberty.
yeah. So okay, so it's Wake Up Liberty. Yeah, it is asking actually for at Gmail.
Well, when you say it's asking for Gmail, what do you mean? And
So
is
I
it
had to
sending
sign
something
out.
there?
Pardon me?
Is it sending like a code there?
No, it's not. So let me, can I share my screen? Would that be okay?
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Let me fix that for you. All participants. Okay. It should work now.
Cool. Share. Why won't it? Oh my gosh, there's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, what do I want to share? Google Chrome, Zoom. Oh gosh, okay, hang on. Sorry, I've got all these. I have a new computer, so now I'm like, okay,
No
let me go
worries.
through.